TopLobsta Productions.
We are being hypnotized by people like this. Newsreaders, politicians, teachers, lecturers. We are in a country and in a world that is being run by unbelievably sick people. The chasm between what we're told is going on and what is really going on is absolutely enormous.
Oh yeah, dude. There's some Nephilim shit.
It's like we all know what's going down, but no one's saying shit what happened to the home of the brave. These motherfuckers, they controlling us now, and no one's talking about how they made us modern day slaves. And everybody's just walking around, head in the clouds, and won't awaken to a dead in the grave. By then it's too late, we need to be ready to raise up. Welcome to the end of days.
Everybody is slaves, only some are aware that the government releasing poison in the air.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nephilim Death Squad. I am David Lee Corbo, a.k.a. The Raven. That is TopLobsta, the father of disinformation. Look at our new studio, guys. Isn't it cool? Before we get into today's guest, a little reminder, sometime around the 30-minute mark, we're going to go live exclusively to patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad. If you want to keep watching the show, engaging in the live chat, gaining early access to content, as well as an ad-free viewing and listening experience. First access to Bohemian Grove tickets when they drop, and that's happening so far, tentatively, first week of March. Ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye out, Patreon members, for when that news comes your way. Also, a little discount code off of merchandise from TopLobsta.com. Oh, we have that pulled up, too. Isn't that
Got
great?
it. I'm on it.
Show them something. The winter seasons are here. Maybe they want a Nephilim Death Squad youth group summer camp hoodie to keep cozy and warm. That's a nice one. I like that one. I really like that design, by the way. You were wearing it the other day, and the lights behind you are blue in the other studio, and it just popped. It looked great. Joining us today is Dani of The Rabbit Hole. This is something we've been kind of trying to put together for a while now, and but we finally got it done. We almost didn't. We had to waste Dani's time, ask her to push it back by half an hour. She was gracious. She said yes. Thank you so much, Dani. Before we start, let's let everybody know where they can find your work and what it is that you focus on.
I deep dive into conspiracies every single week. So I'll start with the history of whatever the conspiracy is, what they want us to believe, right? And then I go into all the conspiracies, whatever, like for JFK. I love to use JFK as an example because there's 18 different conspiracies of what actually happened. So I tell you each different version because my job's not to tell you what to believe. My job's to just tell you what the conspiracies are. You make up your own mind. So you can find me at stayskeptical.com, the Rabbit Hole Conspiracy Theories, wherever you get your podcasts, also on YouTube and Rumble, because I'm going to be taken down off of YouTube soon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's no way. We were just having this conversation before we started. We're like, yeah, we go live for a half an hour, and maybe this is a little information for the audience, and sometimes the audience are like, why do you do this? We have to edit this, dude. If we keep this on YouTube, we will lose our entire account.
They're not happy.
It wasn't long
with
ago.
What we've been saying.
We almost lost the entire account. How close? We were this close to losing the whole thing, and we've been working our tails off, and all these people are supporting us. And the way it goes is dude, YouTube drops that hammer, all those people are gone. All that hard work is gone. You built up this thing, and so that's why we do it.
I was nervous to get on YouTube because of that. So I didn't have YouTube until the beginning of the year because I was like, what's the point of me doing that? I'm gonna be taken off because there's no way. The things that I say on my podcast, sometimes I'm like, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah, it's a sketchy place to be, and I don't know. I mean, recently I've been seeing this stuff about how YouTube is supposedly going to loosen up on its censorship.
No way.
I wonder. It feels like the pendulum is kind of swinging, and I don't know what that means. Is are they going to change their model because the cultural pendulum is swinging in a way that's going to sort of, it's pushing back against censorship. You can see this, and we're not political on this show. I don't subscribe to Republican or Democrat or anything like that, but I will say this cultural pendulum is swinging towards conservatism. And a lot of that has been fostered on websites like Rumble. And so, it's if you want to keep going where the money's flowing, maybe you do want to change your model. And so, but that being said, I know they invited some people back recently if they got their account demonetized or if they got it taken away because of political ideology. And then they've really been dropping the ball on that. I've seen that basically people have been testing the waters okay, fine, we'll come back, YouTube. We'll test it out. And they were like, nope, big flop. Does that mean it's going to be the end of it? Are they going to refine that? I don't know.
I think there's a soft preparation for the swinging of the culture.
And you brought up right at the top the assassination of JFK. I think a big swing of the culture that we're seeing, and we're going to see a little bit more, is with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And
Which
it
feels very similar.
feels super
Yeah,
similar.
it does. I mentioned in my episode, like I did an episode. I'm gonna do like a follow-up episode on Charlie Kirk, but I was like, this is the modern day JFK. Like this is our JFK right now. And I think people get pissed off because they're like, well, he wasn't a president. I'm like, no, but he had so much pull. Like he had such a huge impact on the world that like, and the fact that like conspiracies started pouring out of people like instantly. And it's weird. Like everything is so shady. Are you kidding me?
It's just as like, so yeah, he's not a presidential figure, obviously, but it's like the waters are as muddied. The thing is though, like with the JFK shooting, over time, the waters became muddier and muddier as more information came out. It was this guy, there was a second shooter, there was this person was a patsy. With Charlie Kirk, it was like, boom, all at once. First week shooting, you've got a bunch of patsies, you've got a bunch of potential other shooters. Was it this guy over here who's doing the thing? Was it this guy who's like grabbing his arm, looks like he's squeezing? They were like, it looks like a gun where the muzzle comes out between the knuckles, and then somebody goes, no, it's a detonation device for
a treasure trove of conspiracy.
But also, like, the world is different now because you remember when JFK was assassinated, the people believed the government. Like, people thought the government still had their best interests at heart, and that was like the shift. That was like the beginning of the shift of like, they just killed our president on purpose. For what reason? A lot of people at the time maybe didn't know, but I mean, now obviously we know, but like that was the huge shift in like our culture, I would say. And then like I feel like you have another huge shift. I mean, every time you see one of these big tragedies happen, 9/11, COVID, we're having these huge shifts into conspiracy theories. More people go to conspiracy theories to find like truth instead of like whatever it is they're going to sell us. And so with Charlie Kirk, we're seeing this, like, people were primed. They're ready. They're looking for the conspiracies. Whereas with JFK, like, they didn't think to look for them right away. With Charlie Kirk, they're like, no, that was so how is that a conspiracy?
Well, they really changed things in the past few years. You know, Donald Trump's first term, it's all about like fake news. We didn't have that, right? Everybody trusted the legacy media, or at least the average person did. And I'm not saying that the vast majority of people don't trust legacy media right now, but they've all had that seed planted, that little seed of doubt where it's like fake news. They've heard that so much that now we're to the point where like, I don't know where information is decentralized in a massive way. You know, people are getting, we get people that say like, oh, I get my news from this podcast, which is like, I would never recommend that. Don't ever get your news from this podcast. But that I don't think speaks to how accurate we are at representing what's happening in world events. I think it speaks more to how inaccurate legacy media, how untrustworthy it's become. So yeah, like as soon as this thing popped off, not only do you have all that distrust, but you also have all these angles that come out. The Twitter feed, X is just so rapid. Boom, boom, boom. It's like, I kind of pulled back from when the whole thing happened. Like we saw it live on the show, and it took the air out of the show at first because you hear it, and I've made fun of like Charlie Kirk before and everything, so you kind of crack these jokes off
like comedy.
We were doing a comedy show,
but
and then we put it on and we're like, whoa, like what's going on? And then you kind of like pull back from it for a little bit because you enter this fog of war thing where there's so much information, conflicting information, and it didn't get any better.
I actually kind of want to ask you something, because I know conspiracy theorists are usually we're not the most trustful people.
Like we don't wait. Like people don't trust us, or we don't trust other people.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Hold on. When we say the first one, yes, we don't trust these people.
We don't trust these people. Yeah.
No, it's we don't we don't trust that much of what anybody says.
Right.
And so I'm like, we're skeptical by nature. What is it? Skeptical. What's the name of your website? Here we go.
Stay skeptical.
Stay skeptical.
That's what
Exactly.
I say at the end of every one of my episodes. I'm like, stay skeptical, guys, because nothing is what they say it is.
Yeah.
Nothing is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's been something about the movement of I guess, I don't know, Twitter, just the way people are interacting with each other in the last couple of days. And I've been telling David that I'm like, I feel uneasy. I feel like my spirit is not good right now because it just feels like we're on the precipice of something that is about to pop off.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
getting that feeling?
Yes. And okay, so I've been on a couple podcasts this last couple weeks just because I don't know, I'm making my rounds right now, I guess. And I feel like everyone's kind of in that same boat where everyone's feeling weird. Like everyone, like something's happening. We can't really put our finger on it because like it's like a rumbling in the ground that we haven't really felt yet, but we can feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like something is already on its way.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen it arrive yet.
And it's gonna show up in a really, really, really big way. We already know that. What it is, we haven't figured that out yet.
We've been doing, podcasts on like the whole 3-Eye Atlas thing. And it's just
Yeah.
another one of these things right now. It feels like either by design or otherwise, we're inundated by like a lot of options right now. So whatever it is, it's like pick your flavor of conspiracy. There's a lot of things to latch onto and you can focus on.
Well, so the 3-Eye, so we did yesterday with Jordan Crowder. If you get a chance, I would suggest talking to him. But
Yeah.
3-Eye Atlas thing, we've had 3 comets that have
interstellar objects, more specific, like
interstellar, and I don't even know where I stand on outer space, but or the shape of the Earth.
Yeah.
But there certainly is something to it's like something passing by outside the firmament or in outer space, whatever you'd like to call it.
Yep.
Something happened, and each time this happens, there's like a revelation or an awakening in a sort of way.
Yep.
So we had 2017.
Well, yeah, 2017,
meteor, and then what was
2017 was one of the big disclosure moments where I think it was like the Pentagon came out and said that they had recovered off-world craft was how they described it, and it kind of went out there. It was the same time I think as Bob Lazar and the S2 podcast with Joe Rogan, and so we were going through this big I'm going to use air quotes here, alien disclosure kind of a information based.
So there's a disturbance in our closed off system. I really love the way he put it.
Yeah.
In late 2019, obviously we know. Yeah, umau, whatever. Another disturbance through the solar system, and then you get the lockdowns. But the spiritual awakening that happens right after that because people are now on it.
Yeah, because at the same time it was Epstein didn't kill himself. John Podesta, all the crazy spirit cooking, that was what was going on at that time, and then they shut it all down.
Yeah, and then now we're ready for the 3rd iteration of this, the 3-Eye Atlas. It's going to be passing the sun at the end of this month.
I thought it was in December.
October 30th is when it apparently it goes behind the sun. We just spread like misinformation on the show. We get everything wrong.
She catches the day too.
Yeah.
So that like when the veil's at its thinnest, this meteor, whatever it is, will pass behind the sun. We won't be able to see it. Again, I don't know where I stand with astrology or outer space, any of this stuff, but there's a significance to when these asteroids pass, and throughout mythology, throughout our human history, when these asteroids pass, they mark an age. And some of the ages that we were talking about were the age of Lemuria, that this type of human where there are more spiritual type of human. The next age would be the age of Atlantis, a more technological type of human being dealing with metal and computers and such and technology.
And gyms,
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we have you here today. I guess we're going to get into Atlantis, but it's just funny how we're on the precipice. We're about 2 weeks away from this meteor passing and possibly entering. I don't want to be like, I'm not new agey. So it's not a new age.
No, but it's like, I mean, speaking of new age, we talked about this previous episode, Blavatsky, Alice Bailey, 2025 is going to be the new age, a golden age, the age of Aquarius. We talk about this ad nauseum, but Baba Vanga, the mystic, the clairvoyant, she's saying aliens, 2025 aliens, and I think that's also in the Blavatsky predictions.
I'll be real with you, when he says this shit every episode.
Yep.
And
I literally say the same thing every episode.
Yeah, Baba Vanga, say it. She predicted her own death. Like it's like a script, and for me, I'm not like worried about it when he says it. So my internal worry, I don't know what it is, but it's been heavy the last few days, and I think it's this. I don't know, but
I would imagine the changing of an age would be heralded by some big events. I don't know. Well, where do you put all that?
So I'm gonna come at it from like a different angle. So I don't know like what your faith is, and I don't really care. Like it doesn't.
It's a Christian show.
It's a Christian show,
me.
right?
Okay.
And I'll have you know that.
No, don't point.
Well, okay.
Not at the guest.
All right, I'm sorry.
I left mine in my house. I didn't know we were coming armed to this thing. I would have showed up.
Podcast, you never know what's going to happen.
Do I need to go get my gun? Because I will.
Yes.
Which one? Okay. Anyway.
Whichever one. Bring them all.
Okay. So I think, and so I was not a believer most of my life. And I say like conspiracy theories turned me into a Christian because
join the club. Me too. Yeah.
Like
this is what I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, that's okay.
We've been looking to step back from the show, from Nephilim Death Squad, because people don't give a shit if guys are telling them this stuff, but if girls are telling them this stuff.
We've been saying like what we're gonna do is make our wives sit in place and we'll just give them scripts, but like our wives
don't care,
think we're so dumb, and they're right.
Maybe she should just find another girl, do the show, and then you'll like a girl named Raven
She's crushing. She's making the rounds.
Okay, no, it's perfect. Dani, my name is Dani.
Oh, that's true.
Find a girl named Raven, and we switch it out.
Find a girl named David.
Find a girl named Raven. It's easier. We switch it out.
That is easier.
And perfect, seamless Christian show.
I think
I like it.
No, actually, Christian show just popped up. They're brand new, and I messaged them like, give them like, like, good luck. I hope your show does really well. Like,
that's nice.
I love being a podcaster and like supporting other podcasters. So like, I don't know, like anyway, so they're like a Christian conspiracy theory
we don't do that at all.
Show. And I saw them, like they followed my podcast. So I messaged them and I was like, oh, good luck. Like, I hope that your show grows and you do really good, blah, blah, blah. So it's two of them and they are already doing that. My show is not Christian based. Because I wasn't Christian when I started this show, and that wasn't the point of this. It did turn me into a Christian, but like I try not to like let that overshadow the whole show. But I feel like there's this huge pull right now, which it happened to me, it happened to my husband. Neither of us were believers. Now we both are. It's happening to people in my life that I feel like God is pulling people to him.
Yes.
Like a huge shift in that. So like you're talking about this shift in like everything. I think there's something really big is coming, and I think it's like bigger than just like a conspiracy theory. And like, on TikTok, everyone's like joking that the rapture was coming or whatever.
Yeah, the 23rd,
when it comes,
right?
it'll come, whatever. But something is happening that's like pulling, like God is pulling people to him. And I think that like, honestly, I hope that my show helps more people find Jesus, but that's not the point of it. The point is just to share the conspiracies, because even when I started my show, I wasn't like a huge conspiracy theorist. I just wanted to know what the conspiracies were because I'm a curious person, and I wanted to listen to a podcast about conspiracy theories. I wanted to listen to a podcast about like deep dives into what the conspiracies are so I can like know the different things. I grew up in a house where like conspiracy theories are totally normal. We talk about conspiracy theories at the dinner table every single night because we all believe them. Like we don't believe the mainstream media my whole life. So I was like, well, I want to listen to a show because like I had heard of Pizzagate. I didn't know the ins and outs of it. I had heard of like the Wayfair thing. I didn't know the ins and outs of it. I wanted to know more, like the details about each conspiracy, which is why I started my show. Because I just couldn't find what I was looking for. Now, I'm a fucking psycho.
Welcome, join the club.
The Wayfair thing. Oh, the Wayfair thing is something we never talked about.
It just feels like it feels like 2 lifetimes ago.
It feels like forever ago, right? I'm gonna
kids
do an
in closets, right? Kids in the furniture,
in cabinets or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's like we were just in the season of Blat. Like it's just constant.
Yeah, like now if you told me about the Wayfair stuff, I'd be like, so what, dog?
Yeah. They're transporting kids. We know. Yeah. I was talking to somebody yesterday in person. No. Somebody had just walked in here into the studio earlier, and I was like, they were talking about Justin Bieber and the Kardashians, and it just as a little joke, I said, they're eating babies, right? And this person who's like really not into that sort of thing was like, yeah, probably. And then that was it. Like that's kind of how we've gotten through a weird place. I wonder your thoughts on this, Dani. If you grew up and you're subjected to this, and I was too for a long time. Nobody used to listen back in the day. And you would say these things to people and they would kind of just like look at you like you were insane. Now, all of a sudden, everybody seems to have a level of awareness of this thing that they didn't before. We've all, and I don't know if you want to call it like it's an awakening happening or whatever, where our awareness of the situation has leveled up in a big general way. And I go, well, is that people and sort of their discernment is higher than it used to be? Or is the bar for entry getting lower? You know what I mean? Like sometimes it feels like they want us to see this.
So I wonder about that too, because with Charlie Kirk, everyone pointed to Israel like way too fast, right? And don't get me wrong, like I point to Israel for all kinds of shit. Like I have pointed to like, right? But like How
I just blame
quickly-
Israel for Oreos.
Yeah.
Like the other day.
Yeah.
Did you?
I ran out of wallpaper to do the
Well,
rest of
the
the room. and I was
Oreos
like,
don't burn, and I'm like, Israel.
Oh, that is weird. Dude.
Like
Not
I
saying it's
blame them
not
for a
them.
lot of things, but like how quickly did like I feel like I mean my algorithm's a little because like I do conspiracy theories, but like everyone jumped to Israel too fast.
Yeah.
Do you feel
I
like
made
that?
a tweet,
like-
Dani. I said, it looks like everything is pointing to Israel.
Why?
And then I said, it feels like Israel is the one that's making everything point to Israel. And then I
Right.
said, and I am unbothered. Like, I just how I am now. I'm like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But yeah, it
Everything
feels like there's
pointed there too
breadcrumbs,
quick. Yeah.
and they're the ones leaving the breadcrumbs.
I feel like I feel like a couple things have happened. So I was 7. I was just about to be 7. My birthday's at the end of September. I was just about to be 7 when 9/11 happened.
Oh, happy birthday. That just passed, right? Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I just turned 7. My dad instantly, like, YouTube was brand new, and he's like, watch this. And he starts showing me these videos on YouTube of the towers coming down. I'm 7 years old, right? From the time I could, like, understand what happened,
Yeah.
I knew that the towers did not come down because planes flew into them. So, like I said, like my whole life was just, but I had to learn also at a very young age that, and I didn't really fully understand. People don't understand that that's what happened. People fully believe that
Yeah.
planes crashed into these towers and that's why they fell down. And at a young age, I had to figure out like I can't talk about this in public situations because nobody believes me.
Right.
I'm crazy. So I just like I've been really good at like biting my tongue. But we're seeing with social media, with mass communication, like we've never had communication at this scale, like worldly ever. So we now can put pieces and like we have the internet, we can put pieces of puzzles together that we never could before. People are like actually seeing it and they needed to like physically see it, which is great about like TikTok, which also sucks about TikTok, is like you can see the video and you can put the pieces together and be like, wait a second. They have a really good point. And that's, I think, that's where we're seeing a big shift, especially like happened. They shot themselves in the foot so bad with that. So bad with that.
Yeah.
Because how many people who never thought about a conspiracy theory ever in their entire life before was like, what the fuck was that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like they did this to themselves. Like really.
That's interesting because sometimes I subscribe more to the idea of like, because it wasn't for a lack of information, although it was harder to look up, and certainly the internet has expedited that process and it's made it easy to share these things and it's in your face. But it's like maybe this is nihilistic of me, but I kind of feel like the average person is, and they don't have the desire, even a little bit, to look at these things. So when I see people like for you're talking about like the whole Israel thing. We're some of the first people to, whether it's jokingly or seriously, be like, Israel. Then when I start looking around and I notice there's like crowds of people being like the Israel, I'm like, wait a second. Because it's like, as a conspiracy theorist, you're constantly against the crowd. You're constantly against the lemmings that are running towards the cliff. There's kind of a contrarian aspect to being a conspiracy theorist because you want to be contrary to the general consensus. The general consensus is fed by the mainstream media. And generally speaking, people are kind of cattle, kind of sheep. And I'm not saying that like, I feel almost bad saying that these days because but it's true. It's hard to look around and say that that's not the case. So when I notice that there is a ton of people that were like cattle and sheep 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and they're all saying now in their infinite wisdom, it's definitely Israel. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I got to stop and check myself now.
Right.
And I'm like, is my information good? Is my information being
Or-
handed to me? Because you think about like the Cass Sunstein aspect of the Obama administration, where it's cognitive infiltration, and they're planning to like infiltrate conspiracy communities to steer the narrative. And it's like, of
I've
course,
talked about that too. Yeah.
I don't know. And
But
all
it
of
could be
that
your
is to say, I
algorithm.
don't know anymore.
It could be your algorithm because like my algorithm, I look at it and I'm like, wow, there are a lot of conspiracy theorists out there. But then when I go out and like talk to people in the real world, they're like, what are you talking about? So your algorithm could be like skewing how many people are actually believing this. But also it makes me wonder because again, we didn't used to talk and I'll go back and forth. I'll be like, this is a really good argument, but this is the opposite argument and also very good. So excuse me if I talk out both sides of my mouth. I do it on purpose. So
I do the same thing.
like now we can talk to people at such like broad scales that like maybe this many people have always believed this, have always like, maybe there really are that many people that are awake. We just never knew before.
That's an interesting
How many
thought.
conspiracy theory podcasts were there 5 years ago?
Sam Tripoli.
That's it.
Alex
Yeah.
Jones.
Alex Jones, Sam Tripoli.
There weren't that many.
Yeah.
Most of the people that I know now, like you guys, Cult of Conspiracies.
Yep.
I mean, there's a couple of them. Even the Y-Files, like
There's a ton of us now.
there's a ton of us now, but there didn't used to be. So
Right.
that
Oh,
makes
Higher Side Chats. Yeah, shout out to Higher Side Chats.
Yeah.
the Daily Conspiracy Podcast. Like there's a bunch of them. That you're like, wait a second, like you guys, we're all new. But
Yeah.
it's because we've decided like there needs to be like a section of the internet that can hear all these things. So we've all created that section of the internet. But at the same time, like maybe all along there were this many people that believed in things. That
It's just
believed in
like
conspiracies. They just didn't talk about it.
so things like QAnon, for example, are really worrisome because it's like, to me, I'm pretty sold on the idea that QAnon is a psychological operation in which you basically give people 90% of the truth, some really important lies, and then you lull them into like a false sense of security with like, patriots in control, that kind of a thing. But if you look into a lot of the information that QAnon is disseminating, it's harrowing and it's real. But that is the best kind of information to show somebody. It's like, look, this is real. It confirms your suspicions. And then when we tell you, like, don't worry about it, though, there's a coalition of, government agents that are working to, why would they be lying if they just told us the truth about the nature of things? Pizzagate.
That's the best kind of lie. That's
It's
the best
kind of
lie. Because they're like, look at all this bad stuff, but don't worry. We're going to take care of it for you. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Wow. Thank God. Thank God they're here. No,
Yep.
fuck you. Like, you're not going to
Yeah.
take care of anything for me.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like, I just wonder, QAnon doesn't happen in a vacuum. Certainly there are other operations that are just like that with a very similar mechanism at play. And that is using the truth to lull you either down a path to waste your time or into a false sense of security or whatever. And I can't help but wonder, like, what sorts of things that I've fallen for that are like that. I was in the QAnon camp for like 4 months. I was like, dude, there's something. I was literally calling my friends who didn't give a shit.
Oh my
And
god.
I'm like, they're eating the kids, dude. They're eating the kids. Have you ever heard of Moloch? And I,
No, we
literally
can't.
I stopped getting phone calls for a while. And then eventually I kind of came to this place where I was like, Donald Trump is the savior figure.
Nope.
Like that doesn't seem, and it's like, I'm not somebody who hates Donald Trump. There's a lot of things he does that I like, a lot of things that I dislike. He's just a politician to me. I enjoy his comedic bent. He's a bit of a comedian. There's a lot of things I like about him, but I'm not buying into the idea that he's a savior. That's a crazy narrative.
Well, so to get on the subject of the day, like Donald Trump, his rhetoric around what he's bringing in, what he's ushering in, would be like a golden age.
Wait, can I just say, like, that's a beautiful segue. Good job.
I'm very good at
That
what
was
I
a
do.
very good segue.
Do you see the wallpaper?
Wow.
It's like, come on,
That's
guys.
a
Did you
beautiful
put up the
segue.
Get real.
wallpaper?
Oh yeah,
up
we
the
did.
wallpaper.
Yeah, we build it.
It's very nice,
We
man.
build it, man.
That's a
Wait,
hell of a
Nice.
segue.
I like
come
it.
back in a couple of months. I got
Oh,
the
we're gonna have
laser
signage.
printer.
It's
We're
be so
gonna
good.
be
Oh,
cutting
nice.
signs and things. but-
Guys, that's right. Israel finally gave us enough funding. We're getting the
Yes.
laser printer. Big things coming.
okay,
Awesome.
but for real
Nice
though.
plug. I liked it.
Shout out
Do
Israel.
me next. Do me next.
God bless Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay. So yeah, man.
Oh, you'll stay
yeah.
on the internet now.
Oh yeah, we're good on YouTube now, by the way.
So Donald Trump ushering in the idea of a golden age is something that also calls back to, I believe it was Kronos, and that this guy kind of like does he coincide with the era of Atlantis?
I don't know if he coincides so much with the era of Atlantis, but I know it's definitely something that Blavatsky and Alice Bailey said was coming. The golden age, that's the age of Aquarius. And these are the same people that were obsessed with Atlantis. So all of this is tangentially, did I make that?
Tangentially, you got it.
Dude, I was close. I mispronounced it a
He's
little
good.
bit. It's all connected is what I mean to say. How do you, you said you just did a deep dive on Atlantis. Tell us a little bit about it. It's a fascinating subject, and it's one that we haven't really gone down too much.
So this deep dive was mostly about like, is Atlantis even like, first off, what is Atlantis? Like,
Mhm.
what are we even talking about? And then also like, is it even real? Because I find that once I've covered a topic such as Atlantis. I'm like, is it real? Is it not? What is the history? Then when I come to other conspiracies, I'm like, remember when we talked about Atlantis? Here you go. And I drop it into like wherever I'm at. So like, there's a couple things about Atlantis. Some people think that this is just like this tiny little island, continent almost thing. Like, because when it's explained, like Plato explains it, it's got like rings. So you have like an outer ring and then like water and then another ring of land and then water and then like the center capital, right? So you got these rings, and that's what a lot of people are like, that was Atlantis. But there's also some really compelling evidence that maybe Atlantis was like just the whole world, because there's the excuse me, I need to get to this point in my notes. I write everything down so I don't forget anything. There's the Egyptian god. His name's Thoth or Tho.
Oh, yeah. Wait, it's not Thoth, is it?
It is Thoth, but you don't say the last th.
Damn, really? I've
I
never
looked
heard
it
it
up.
actually like phonetically.
I looked it up because I was like, I
That's
need to know
funny.
how to say this properly. So he goes to the Egyptians, and he's like this god, right? And they're like, he is explaining to them like how to use the pyramids, because the Egyptians did not build the pyramids. If you still believe that, you need to do some more research.
Seems
Anyway,
they found it, right?
they found the pyramids, and then this guy Thoth, excuse me, he teaches the Egyptians like about the pyramids, how to use the pyramids, what they're for. He introduces them to the pyramids. He's like, look, the Atlanteans created these pyramids. Now you can use them. But if you look all over the world, when I did my pyramid episode, there's pyramids on every single continent. All over the place there are pyramids. A lot of them now, especially like in Asia, they look like mountains because they're covered in like grass and different things. So you wouldn't know that a pyramid was there. But even like Antarctica has pyramids. They're everywhere. So you have this guy, this god, explaining to the first king of their like 35,000 years of kings. And he's like, you need to teach every single king going down the line about these pyramids and what they're for. And then they recorded all this information on the emerald tablets. So these emerald tablets were to explain where the pyramids came from, who the Atlanteans were, all the information about Atlantis, because Thoth was the last one alive from the Atlantis era. So that's where Plato really got his information, was from the Egyptians, which had gone back years and years and years. But you look at it, you have the same, like obviously we have the theory from Egypt, you have the theory from Greece, but you have this theory in Hindu and Vedic traditions. You have the same theory in Mesopotamian flood myths. You have the same theory in the Mesoamerican legends, in Celtic lore, in Norse mythology. I had some people in my podcast, or like in my comments, they're like, well, Ragnarok was when whatever was destroyed, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I don't care about, like, the point is that in Norse mythology, that's when Atlantis was like destroyed, was during Ragnarok, not like.
Yeah, you have a very similar thing with the
I was just looking up the 9, my notes on it, and yeah, all of the cultures that you mentioned are all cultures that I've written down here as well.
Yeah. And then you have that with the Inca, where the natives are like, oh yeah, our ancestors didn't build the pyramids, they found the pyramids. The pyramids were built by a race of giants that were cannibalistic and that they were killed at a flood. And you have something very similar too with Blavatsky describing like the Aryans, and which is like supposedly the race that predates the Atlanteans, but they were gigantic as well.
Well, and that's what you have that same theory when it comes to Anunnaki as well. The Anunnaki were way bigger than all the other people. Yep. And you guys should know everything about giants. You are Nephilim Death Squad.
That's our jam. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's
been a while, right? We don't
kind of sort of. I mean, we always orbit it, but it's like that's what I think that the Bible really nails, and I think Enoch really nails it too. It's like the nature of these giants, where they come from, and what they were about. The Anunnaki story is like, oh, they're from this other planet, and they created us, and they need us to mine gold.
They didn't create us. They modified us.
Right. And right now you have that New York Post article that's going around talking about finding DNA, alien DNA inside the human genome. And to me, I go like, yeah, as in the days of Noah, it's Nephilim DNA. That's the entire thing. We were all muddied up with kind of like fallen angel DNA. And it's the same thing going on today. And that's why you have this hybridization. Probably want to get too off kilter, but that's the hybridization program with the aliens. There we go. Alien DNA found inside of humans. Alien is a fun word to use too, right?
Bonkers new study.
Because it's such
These
a
people are
loaded word. They're like
ridiculous.
from
Bonkers.
outer space. Yeah, bonkers.
Oh my gosh.
That's really fun. But I think it's the same thing. I think it's nothing
Sorry.
new under the sun, and I think it's as in the days of Noah. I believe that one of the major reasons for the flood was the disruption of the genetics on Earth, whether it's human genetics or plant genetics or animal genetics.
I covered that in my mermaid episode because so mermaids, Atlantis, this all ties together because the flood, right? So you have the flood, destroys everything. Noah survives, right? We all know the story. Well, the mermaids are said to have gone underwater because their DNA was modified. They were said to have been pushed underwater. They became mermaids, and God has like basically punished them to be like mermaids or sirens forever. But when you look at it, again, just like with Atlantis, you have all these different cultures from all over the world, all different time periods talking about these creatures.
Yeah.
Atlantis, same concept. You have all these different cultures, all different time periods talking about Atlantis. You're going to sit there, not you guys, but like people are going to sit there and tell me that Atlantis, mermaids aren't real when you have this many different people from all over the world that would have never been able to communicate to each other and tell me that it's not real, but they have folklore about the exact same situations. Atlantis, mermaids. And you can trace it all back to the Bible if you want to. I did not specifically in my podcast, again, not Christian based, but like you absolutely can and should trace it back to Enoch, trace it back to the flood, trace it back to God trying to destroy all the like messed up DNA. Unfortunately, it seems like it still survived a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's my thing is like, you know, I think that there's so much information that could be pulled from all these other belief systems. I think they all really did experience these things. My thing with the Bible is that it just got the nature of them correct. Like they hate us, right? They don't, and a lot of this is like, you want to talk about like, is it L.A. Marzulli's seed war? Is he the one that talks about the seed war? It's this idea of like trying to gain rights to what we get the rights to. You know what I mean? And it's like, in order to do that, they're trying to kind of hijack the legal system that God by creating something that can maybe embody a human spirit, you know, all these different things. It's like it's a way to hijack the system. It's where they took human wives. It's a legal bond. You know, they're going through God's legal channels and they're trying to subvert us. There's a different word for it. I'm going to stop searching for words. I'm going to mess it up, but they're trying to navigate this and get what is ours, but they're trying to do it through the correct legal channels in order to is this it? We have to, that's right. Wow. Thank you, FJ Fool, for the $5 donation to kick the pores out at 20 minutes. We're kicking the pores out at the 40-minute mark. I'm sorry to interrupt. Very jarring. But we have given these poor people far too much content. And so if you want to continue watching this episode, engaging in the live chat, all that jazz, you know where to do it. Patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad. Otherwise, give it a week or two and this episode will drop in its entirety. But Patreon is where you want to be. It's cooking. We got so much. It's so many bangers just in the backlog, and you guys don't even know. So yeah, that's just my thing is the nature of these creatures, you know, because the problem is a lot of other religions or peoples worshipped them, and
it's the devil, though.
Yeah,
is what really what it comes down to. It's the devil, because he knows how to. I mean, he spits the word back at Jesus just like Jesus spits it back at him. In the New Testament, they're going back and forth, and you're like, okay, well, like the devil knows how to. He knows the words, he knows the scripture, and he knows how to subvert it just enough to make it like just against what God wants, but also still following his laws, like what you're saying, like marrying, like marrying a woman, taking a woman as your wife, and now like that's where the mermaids came from. Is what I found is that the fallen angels, they took the wives willingly slept with them, they created these new babies. All those women that willingly slept with whoever, they became the mermaids.
Yeah, that's right. It's like kind of like the Lilith, mother of monsters kind of a situation.
So the human
I'm covering
woman?
that next week.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, we spoke with Sean of Kingdom in Context. He's
that was fun.
And we were reading through Enoch chapter 7, I believe. And in the second verse there, they talk about how the fallen are. So they take wives, they get them pregnant, they teach them the cutting of roots, among other things.
And then they bore
And
children.
and then they bore children, and it's like, okay, the cutting of roots, what does that mean? And
Feels
Yeah,
a
I
little
was
bit
gonna
weird
ask.
that it's interjected
yeah,
there.
well, when you
Right.
look into it, the cutting of roots would be manipulation through pharmakia or chemical manipulation. So Sean extrapolates that it's possible they were doing actual genetic mutations, which would be in line with what you're saying about these human women, or even like Nimrod. Nimrod became Gibberim.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
became something. They were this, and then they were transmuted,
Right.
transformed
There's
into.
this idea that inside the root system of a plant, there's a chemical compound known as gibberellum, and that gibberellum
Well,
can
it's what's in Miracle Grow.
yeah, so it changes the growth hormone of a thing. It can turn it off or turn it on. So in other words, there's like a growth
Interesting.
regulator that will keep you from reaching an insane size.
You know what?
Is it a chimeric creature? No, it's not a chimeric creature. You know, like a liger. So a liger is a lion and a
Yeah.
tiger. That kind of a crossbreeding it's not viable. It can't have offspring, but
Right.
it has its growth hormone basically switched off. So they become enormous. And that chemical compound that controls that is called gibberellum. And then when you start to look into like, yeah, gibberim, it's like, wait a second, what's actually being said here? And you can find that chemical compound in the roots of a plant, which is like,
That's
wait a
really
second.
interesting. Like the thing, like what you're saying is like something was one thing and then switching to another thing, especially when you think of like the evolution, like what they tell us our evolution is that we were apes and then we switched to humans and how
It's probably an
don't-
inversion as well. I mean, I don't think that we upgraded in any form or fashion by the things that they were experimenting on with us. I mean, the stuff that they're putting in our food, do people look healthier or better?
Right, yeah.
It
no,
seems
now
like
we have an infertility epidemic that nobody is labeling as an epidemic. Men are infertile, women are infertile. Of course, we always blame the women, but everyone is
interesting.
infertile. Like there is this epidemic of like illness. There's this epidemic of obesity, and it's all because our food isn't actually nourishing us. It's actually us.
Yeah, it's really weird too because you know you're talking about genetically manipulating a species, and then it becomes infertile, like a liger cannot create. But you genetically manipulate us, and then there's a infertility epidemic. That's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this is where the coffee shop that we're in right now. Hey, Matt, the owner, actually owns his own fruit forest, and like just it's pretty much a garden, and he has like
That's cool.
he grows everything here. It's amazing, but he's really big on that. He's like, yo, you got to get off this stuff. This stuff is,
Yeah,
and he's 100% correct.
That's why we started a homestead because I wanted to grow as much of my own food as possible. As much stuff that I can grow and then create, like make myself. Like I know what went into it. I know what went into the soil. I know what fed it. Like I know everything about it. That was like one of the biggest things for us, like especially having young children. We're like, we need to make sure that our children are well fed because literally that is the foundation for everything in your life.
Oh, absolutely. This is something that I struggle with my kids. Initially from New York City, we had to basically heavy metal detox my son
Ooh,
from
yeah.
just about everything, and I mean, he was showing symptoms of early on, and
Mhm.
I gotta say, it seems like we rectified it. Well, my wife did. My wife, she stumbled upon the correct solutions, which were not
Good.
in her field of study, and she's an RN, so Western medicine should have been the thing that we were looking at, but I guess
No way.
intuition was just like, yeah,
Well, and the more
not
you
the way to
look
go.
into Western medicine, the more you look into like how it was created and like how the Rockefellers created it because they wanted to control people. They created the pharmaceuticals because they wanted to continue to sell the oil, like just the discard from the oil or all the petroleum products. You're like, this wasn't created with our best interest at heart. This was created
Yeah.
for profit at heart. And everyone, whether they believe in conspiracies or not, they believe that the medical industry has profit at heart, not healing people.
Yeah.
But you know, it's so hard, and I'm glad that your wife has like figured it out because it's so hard to convince a doctor or a nurse or somebody that works in the medical industry, like, hey, what they're doing and like how they're treating patients, it's us. You're actively people. They're like, no, we're saving people. We're like, that's the complete opposite of what you're doing. You are not saving anyone.
It was kind of weird, that whole angle, right? Like people will pretty quickly tell you, like, yeah, the medical industry is for profit. If you said to
Yeah.
the average person on the street, like, You'd be surprised if you found out there's a cure for cancer, but it's much more profitable to manage it over someone's lifetime. They would go like, yeah, but then 2020 hits and they're like, get your like,
Right.
it's just super weird how that I don't know, man. There's a cognitive dissonance that like that one was surprising to me, you know. And you go like, it's experimental, don't take it, and they go, shut up. What about grandma? And you're like, dude, this is odd. You don't think that it's strange they're giving us something for free? They're giving it to it. When has that ever
Well,
happened?
we had some relatives come over from New York that are very much that way, but like I don't understand the dynamic either. It's like she's like crunchy mom. She's like, I bought my kid like a super organic chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this kid has like 70 vaccines already.
It's
Yeah.
weird, man.
Yeah,
I
like,
guess
what
we're
do
all
you
just
do?
doing our best, but
I
Yeah,
think
can-
that people are like, it's easy to be in the dark about things. Like, you know that the food's not great. Otherwise, they wouldn't offer organic food. Like, why would they offer organic if it was all just like
right.
natural and organic, right? So I think some people can put that 2 and 2 together. But then also they're like, well, they wouldn't kill us with vaccines. And you're like, no, that's exactly what's happening. You know, you like that's what they're putting into the food to make it non-organic as well. But instead you're going to run down to the local doctor and get 72 vaccines before you're 5.
Yeah, I mean the schedule is
76, something
insane
like that.
now.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
no, I mean that's not even a joke.
So
right?
do you
It's-
think
No,
it seems like our society at the very center of it is this idea of genetic manipulation or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a transitioning of type. Was that happening in your studies? Is that happening in Atlantis as well, or like what kind of stuff was going on there?
So Atlantis had all kinds of they had technology that we don't even have today. Like they could levitate things, which again, back to the pyramids, that's probably how they were built, is levitation. I make a joke in my episode that Atlantis is basically exactly how you see it in Disney, like the Disney movie of Atlantis. But everything that I found, it basically is exactly like they explained in the movie. Like if you watch the Disney movie and they're like flying on their cars and they're using their gems to like start things, like that's everything I found to be true with Atlantis. So I didn't find specific like genetic manipulation, but to me, I just kept thinking like maybe the Anunnaki were involved in this. Maybe like how did they get all of this information? Like how did they become so advanced? To me, like genetic mutation or genetic manipulation does make the most sense.
That's interesting that of all places or of all people, Disney would be
Right.
the ones who are telling us the truth about a thing, and Disney is so
Because, well,
strange and esoteric.
Disney tells us the truth about a lot of things. I mean, look at
Yeah.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, dude. Pleasure
like,
Island?
Yeah, right. So you're like Disney will tell you the truth about a lot of things, but you're like Atlantis wasn't even a real place,
Yeah.
right?
You know
So
what
like
I wonder about Pinocchio? Because my son was asking me, he was like, "How come his nose grows when he lies?" And I was like, "I don't know if I really want to go down."
I don't want
He's 5, and I have to explain this to you. Like in 1948, there's a no.
Well, a lot of these are like really troublesome.
What does it mean? What does it mean, though?
I mean, yeah, that's a kind of weird correlation, right? How else do you explain that? There is somebody else who's got a big nose and lies. I don't know. But there's a lot of strange stuff that they were doing. You know, in Disney, I always talk about that like kind of Pythagoras cult that Donald Duck became a part of.
Yeah.
Was, you know, it was like they were kind of pulling the veil back and showing you for a moment in time, like, oh yeah, this is important. Like sacred geometry is important, and
but
there
it's
are
not
these
just Disney that
cults
does that. It's like all these movies, all these shows,
Oh, yeah.
Netflix, like everywhere you look, like they're telling us the truth. But they like mask it as fiction, and then
Yep.
all the nonfiction stuff, you're like, that's a lie. Everything you're telling me that's like nonfiction, all these documentaries, you're like, that's not true.
When it comes to Atlantis, I know that one of the things that you get is like this area in West Africa where it's like
Yeah.
these concentric circles. I have an image here. Okay, you want to bring that up there? And this is in West Africa, and the
Yeah.
idea is that this was Atlantis. These are kind of I guess the ruins or the remains of it. I guess, you know, maybe we've experienced some sort of a pole shift. What was once Atlantis is now effectively a desert. Did your research lead you to that place?
Of course. So, a lot of people point to that. A lot of people will say, well, that's not actually Atlantis. That's just like, that just is conveniently shaped the way that Atlantis was said to be shaped. And then they say, well, it's also one of the least studied places in the world because it's like a red zone. So like all the like there's like pirates and like terrorists, or not terrorists, but like little militias. Like there are so many people there that want to kill you that if you go there to study it, you can't actually study it, which makes me wonder, like, why are there so many people there to kill you? Why are they protecting it? Like, and if you really wanted to study it, I bet you could. If you tried hard enough, you could. But they don't care because they just like write it off. They're like, nope, had nothing to do with Atlantis. You guys are crazy. And because everyone thinks Atlantis sunk into the ground. That place absolutely could have had water surrounding it. Like it could have been the rings at some point. We don't know for sure. I think that was where the capital was, in my opinion. I think that's where the capital was. Absolutely. I think it wasn't studied. Well, if they did study it, they would find all the minerals and all the metals that they say that we don't have. Like, how come Atlantis said that we have these metals, but we can't find them anywhere? Well, it's probably because that's where they're at, and we're just not studying it. I think that, again, Atlantis was a world civilization. That's probably where the capital actually was.
That's kind of weird.
Sahara Desert.
You know, like in that vein of Disney telling us the truth, you start thinking about like, you know, like Wakanda, uranium. It's in Africa. It's this metal that only exists there. It's a hidden kind of a city type of deal. Man, I don't like that. I don't know. I don't like that, but I can't. It's just kind of where my mind went. It is. You look at certain geographical, you know, anomalies, like they find shells on top of mountains, right?
Right.
Recently, they're like seashells, like the idea that the water was so high that, you know, this was once some sort of ocean bed.
Well, Kansas used to be like, and they'll tell you at the Museum of Nature and Science in Denver, they tell you that Kansas used to be oceanfront property. The ocean used to run right through there back in the days of the dinosaurs.
Well, they have that place in the mountains of, is it Moab? Or no, I'm sorry, the mountains of, where was Noah's Ark supposedly?
Oh boy,
it's the mountains of, here, let me see if maybe I could find it. But so there's a mountain in the Bible that said, you know, supposedly this is where Noah's Ark is. Noah's Ark location, and it's not Moab. That's stupid. Ararat. Okay.
Yeah, Mount Ararat.
That's the idea was that Noah's Ark was on Mount Ararat. And what
look at the chat. They're like, Ararat, you fool.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. The TV is far away. I can't see
look at us.
I know. They're and they'll say hard.
And they're all spelling. Not one person has spelled it the same way.
No,
so who knows?
I know what they mean. So the idea was that it was on Mount Ararat. And then recently, like a mudslide happened. And when that mudslide happened, it exposed the remains of a ship. And it's not on Mount Ararat. It's in a mountain range of Ararat, like a mountain range that runs through Ararat. And, you know, it's like, okay, you make all the speculation. Well, like, I don't know if that's Noah's Ark. What is the ship doing on top of a mountain?
Right.
Period.
No, we're not talking about that because it's just not Noah's Ark. Period. That's the end of it. Right. Like let's
dude,
not talk about the fact there's a ship in the mountain range.
How does that happen? How are there seashells on top of the mountain ranges?
There's a couple theories here, right? So there's the theory that like the whole world flooded. I mean, well, the theory, right? Like the Bible says the whole world flooded. You have,
but then
like,
you also have like
theory.
You know, Graham Hancock, Randall Carlson. They're like, oh yeah, it does seem that there was a great big flood around the entire world. But it has nothing to do with the Bible.
There's literally like evidence of the flood all over the place.
Yeah.
But whatever. There's a theory that like the ice age, when the poles shifted, all the ice melted instantly. And that would have caused a huge flood. But also that's when Antarctica went from like this beautiful, like temperate place to under ice. So there's also a theory that all the Atlanteans went underground when that happened. And that they actually live in Antarctica underground.
Yeah.
But then there's also the theory, there's so many theories, that you can get to the outer space of the flat earth through Antarctica underground. So did the Atlanteans just leave our flat earth area and go outer space to the outer areas and continue living on?
Well, that's what Admiral Byrd.
There it is. Byrd, 1929, his South Pole flight. His crew flew over the South Pole, making critical navigation, yada yada. But he claims a hollow earth, right? And then there was
Yep.
this whole story that he was like greeted by, you know, a whole civilization when he flew his plane into this opening. And it's like, yeah, I guess
An
you can
advanced
choose to ignore
civilization.
that. Yeah. And but you know, makes great television, makes great movies. I think that was also produced by Disney, right? Who was the guy from The Mummy? The guy who fell off in like a huge way. He's an actor. He played
Brendan
O'Connell.
Fraser.
Brendan Fraser. One of the, he's like literally like I wanted
No,
to
he's
be
back.
him.
He's back. How dare you? The
Well,
whale was very
I
good.
hear the whale was good, but he's quite
I
fat,
haven't
is what I'm
seen it.
getting at. And he was an
Okay,
awesome
he's also
dude. I wanted to
older.
be
We all
him.
get a little fat when we
I'm
get
just
older.
saying, when I was a kid,
David, you're getting fat.
I'm getting quite fat, and I
I can
never got
tell.
tall enough to be what. I thought I was going to grow up to be an adventurer, and instead I grew up to be a fat podcaster, and I wanted to be Brendan Fraser O'Connell from The Mummy so badly, but he played in the movie Journey to the Center of the Earth, which I believe was probably a Disney production as well. So Disney
I think
once
it was
again.
DreamWorks. But DreamWorks
Was
is
it
just as fucked up.
DreamWorks?
I don't know.
So
Honestly,
they own them now. I'm pretty sure they own them now.
20th Century Fox owns DreamWorks now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pixar is what I'm thinking. But yeah, this is all
Yeah,
the same thing. It's like things that are geared towards children entertainment. It seems like their
Right.
main occupation is convincing you that a lot of things that are the truth are actually works of fiction.
Well, so where do you fall on the idea that they are in inner Earth, or at least have gone to like Antarctica, the ancient Atlanteans?
I think that some of them could have gotten there, but I don't think all of them could have gotten there. In my opinion, I think that it was a world civilization. I don't think that they were just in that tiny little like area. I think if they were as advanced as they said that they were, or as it's reported that they were, there's no way that they just like stayed on that tiny little island. Because like anytime any civilization starts to advance, they start to expand and get bigger and bigger and bigger. If you have better technology than Joe Schmo down the road, you now own Joe Schmo down the road. You know, you either conform or you die. So I think it was a world civilization, or at least most of the world, right? And I think that some of them absolutely could have gone into, depending on what theory you're going to go with, into the Earth or into the outer spaces of like onto like another planet.
That's interesting.
Right.
So
I don't think all of them could have. I think that a lot of them died.
Where do they fit into this this puzzle piece that is the UFO phenomenon of the Roswell alien kind of stuff that people are?
Oh, well,
calling this
that
or
would
that?
be who they are.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's all these flying saucers, all these ships that we're seeing, that's just the Atlanteans.
Yeah, the Hopi say that
I thought you were
the
gonna
ant
ask me-
people.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the Hopi say that the ant people, which they are described as the alien greys, come from inside the Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like, and then of course all the UFO phenomenon. Now it's pretty much that they come from inside the Earth. That they're not coming from outer
Yeah, I
space.
think most people kind of subscribe to that now. Most people in my algorithm. In my
Most
algorithm,
crazy
people
people,
say-
yeah.
Everybody,
But-
until I go back and visit old friends from where I used to live, and they're like,
We've
"No,
done
dude,
a
you're still
survey of
crazy."
100 crazy people,
and they all
Yeah.
said the same thing. Yeah, no, I think that it's widely accepted now, like half, I would say 50-50 people believe that the aliens are actually coming from below us, like in the Earth.
Yeah,
So whether they live in the Earth, or again, like if you subscribe to the like flat Earth theory that like the other planets are just on, like they're just also flat outside of our Earth, then they could come from outer space, technically outer space of our firmament, from their firmament. Like it just depends
Well-
like what theory. And that's why I cover all the theories, because I don't know, there's so many options.
well, there is something interesting. It's like either go out or in if you have to avoid a gigantic calamity. We talk about it on the show all the time. Elon Musk is worried about a polar shift. That's why he wants to go to Mars. He did an interview with the Nelk boys. You can find that footage. He actually explicitly says that. He says that it's happened before, giant cataclysms. We wouldn't be safe on the
absolutely.
moon. We'd have to go all the way to Mars. You take into account these like structures, monoliths, potentially on the moon, structures supposedly on the surface of Mars. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know if those are real images. It's hard. I'm not smart. So it's like, but I understand that idea that you would want to escape there. And then couple that with the idea, and this gets like really weird, but it's like people have been channeling for a really long time. And they'll channel anything from ascended masters of Atlantis, right? Shout out
Mhm.
David Icke. Or they'll
Actually,
channel.
David Icke might be like the most right on the nose of
I don't wanna
saying
say
what it is.
that.
I mean,
you know what? I don't think that if you're that correct, you look like that. There, said it.
I like how he looks. He
I
looks
don't like
fine.
how he looks at all. He's a
I feel
nightmare.
like I've never
and
actually seen him.
oh, don't do it.
Oh,
Pull
I'll take a
up a
look.
picture.
Pull up a picture of David Icke so that we could just ruin everybody's appetite.
Yeah, let's just ruin the day.
All right, fine. So David Icke channels ancient Atlanteans. People historically have channeled the Ennead, the Egyptian Ennead. We talk about that quite a bit on the show. And then, of course,
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying.
he is a nightmare. Go ahead, put him on the screen. Let's just ruin everybody's day. Dude, look at him. He's just.
I think it's just mostly I don't know, what is he,
Is
British?
he
or
a
something?
reptile?
it could be the British
He's
thing.
British.
He is a
He's
reptile.
British, but is he a reptile?
I don't know what he is, but I know he had a stroke, and in that stroke, he said it was a Kundalini experience where he started channeling these things. That's what he said. I'm not even making that up. So, and they were like, we're the ancient Atlanteans, we're Atlantean masters, and then you have the abductee victims. And the people who get abducted, they will oftentimes say that they gave me a message. We talked to a woman in particular. Her name, she goes by Fringe on X, and same thing. They all say the same thing. Humanity has to ascend. If you don't, we're going to fall victim to a massive calamity that's coming, a worldwide event. And it's often described as a polar shift or pole shift. Now, interestingly enough, that does change throughout history, though. It's like sometimes it's like nuclear war, sometimes it's a polar shift, other times it's a meteor impact. And so I find that fascinating. So the messenger changes. It's the Ennead, it's the aliens, it's the tall Nords, it's the Atlantean masters. And then the calamity changes as well. But then you have Elon Musk, who's like, yeah, we need to go to Mars to avoid this coming
Sometimes it's
polar
an
shift.
autistic girl
Sometimes
named
it's an
Greta
autistic girl.
Thunberg. Yeah, which is odd too.
How dare you?
I'm just saying.
All right.
Why?
I don't know
I got more
what
questions
to,
about her.
I have a lot of questions about her, but I don't know what to do with this information, because I feel like it would be really great if you wanted to deceive us, those of us who are actually looking for the truth, with like this unbelievable narrative. And not only that, but if you could deliver that narrative to us by way of like supernatural entity, which I do believe are very real, but you have that supernatural entity lie about its nature, what it actually is, and then tell us that like it's gonna save us. We have to ascend. We have to become like gods. We have to take our place among the Galactic Federation. It's troublesome, is it not?
Yeah, I think anytime we start talking about like aliens and like what they're going to come and tell us, like we've got some issues. But
Yeah.
you're right. Everyone keeps saying like we need to go somewhere. Where is that place? And everyone like agrees that it's not the moon. So I've got some questions. Actually, I would love your guys' opinions about the moon, because what? Let's start there. Okay, I have this theory. So my dad has a theory. My dad has a theory that the moon is a watchtower because there are some texts about the time before the moon.
Your family's really cool.
Yeah.
Dude, my family's so fun. So much fun.
Cool.
So my dad has this theory that the moon is a watchtower, right? And it was placed here, and that this is actually a prison. This is my dad's theory. And so then I was sitting outside the other night, look at the moon. A couple things that are weird, and I didn't know this until I really started researching the moon. Like growing up, like in school, they didn't tell me that the moon doesn't move. Like we always just see the same side of the moon.
Yeah, that's
Like,
weird.
I had always heard of like the dark side of the moon, and I just assumed that the moon also like rotated the way they taught us that the Earth rotates, and that the dark side is just the side that we're not looking at. That's what I always assumed.
No, it's just
but no,
it's stuck.
it's stuck. We always only see that side. And the way that the moon lights up, like, you know, like it goes through its phases. I get that. Is it like a lighthouse?
That's the question. Is it sometimes I go and I say, yeah, it might just be a light, but I don't know if you remember the story. I think we shot something at the moon.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Right
Of course
here.
he pulled it
Of
up,
course I
yeah.
pulled it up.
And it
'cause we
rings.
share
It's a
mind,
hollow
and We're
moon.
basically a couple. Disgusting.
It rang for an hour.
Yeah, 1969 Apollo 12.
Yeah.
They intentionally crash the spent ascent stage of their lunar module into the moon.
When was it?
1912?
1969.
1969.
It was right after. So
Nice.
it was the second trip to the moon. Like the first trip, they landed on the moon, right? Like they landed on the moon. The second time they went up and landed on the moon, and then they shot this thing at it. After after
We
they
do
left.
that sometimes. We did that, by the way. There was like I don't know, Operation Apophis or some crazy crap like that, where we recently did that. It was within the last like 5 years or so. We just shot something at the moon, and it was so that we can collect.
Isn't that like such the
Surface.
coolest like little kid shit? Like be
I
like,
mean, I
Yeah.
do like
what is that thing? And you throw something at it,
Hell
and you're
yeah,
like,
dude.
it rang for
Human
an hour.
nature. It rang for an
Yeah.
hour.
What did it sound? That also
So
gets you.
well,
to
they
think-
put like they put like a seismograph. Is that what it's called?
Exactly,
A seismograph that can it picks up on like earthquakes on the Earth. So they put that allegedly on the moon. Then they dropped this thing onto it, and it like rang as if like there was a bell ringing. You can actually hear it for an hour, a little over an hour, I think.
So there's this other thing about the moon, and of course Google will tell me it's not true, but there are people who are much smarter than me who say that the moon actually generates its own light, and they say something unique about that light. It's I forget what the properties of it are, but it's like so I've heard somebody describe it as like I think like putrid or something like that, like something having to do with decay.
I'd say putrid as well. Like when I'll do that if it's like a full moon, I'll go out and walk on the land,
Yeah.
and there is like a bluish yellow
Yeah,
glow.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's weird too because they go like everybody goes, yeah. The moon has a lot of an effect on your mood, right? Lunatics,
Yeah.
right? People that are going crazy. Luna being the prefix there.
Anapolina Luna.
What are you doing, lady?
Yeah,
But
we're watching you.
Or we are watching Anapolina Luna. I don't trust her at all. But we go, well, that's just because gravity. It's like what?
But like, so I heard this really good argument, right? So the moon affects our tides. The moon, like, there's no denying that. The moon
Maybe
affects
you.
the tides. The
What's that
ocean
mean?
tides? What are you
I
talking
don't have
about?
tides, dude.
The ocean tides. I don't mean
I
like,
think he thinks you're
What
like
are you
tithing
I
in
thought you meant
church.
like my
No, no,
water
no,
and
no, no.
stuff.
yeah, the water in the ocean. That's what I mean.
All right, I'll allow
So
it.
the moon does affect the tides, right? So when it's a full moon, the tides are typically like the waves are bigger.
Mhm.
Typically, not every single time. My dad, this guy has really raised me up to think things a little different. Your
guy
body
crushes.
is made of 75% water, whatever the statistic is now, mostly water. You're telling me that the moon doesn't affect you as well?
Oh, it does.
No,
Yeah.
it
It's gonna
definitely does.
affect the water all over the earth. It's gonna affect the water in us as well.
I mean, I have lived in rough areas, and I can tell you that I would be able to watch fights from my window on full moon nights. Like I lived across the street from a 7-Eleven, and there was almost always an altercation in that
Maybe
parking lot
this
at
is
night.
like at the top of
And-
the show. I was talking about the disturbance and the
Mhm.
force that I'm feeling. Like, I'm
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
like people acting weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a full moon just 2 days
Two
couple
ago.
days
days
ago,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, we were out having a bonfire, and I was just staring at the moon. But also, how many babies are born under full moons?
Oh, you know what's weird? We built
Babies
this
are-
studio on a full moon.
Oh, that's not good.
Now we harnessed that Luna power, dog.
I don't know what we're doing. But-
I don't know. We did our last show. We did Bohemian Grove, and it was like we were just trying to get it done. And I forgot who it was. Couldn't make it a specific day. It was like
Sam.
Sam Tripoli couldn't make it on a specific day, so we had to move the event up by a week. And then while we're there doing the show, somebody's like, "It's literally the solstice.
Like the summers. Yeah, they're like,
It's
why?
the summer solstice.
they, like,
why are you
corner
doing
us.
it?
Why'd
on the
you do
summer
it?
solstice, dude?
I'm like, I don't even know what day it is.
We're
To be
retarded.
honest,
We don't know what we're doing.
but it's I guess a
have no
force kind of
idea.
moves you, right?
We
Like
have no idea. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
a force kind of moved, but I hope God used us and it wasn't something. I don't know. It
I
got a
don't
little
know.
weird over there. But yeah, I mean, I suppose I understand that you have this percentage of water, but it just to
Somebody
me,
in the comments said, like, fresh water isn't affected by tides. I'm like,
well,
Yeah,
number
but
one, these
people still start acting weird.
Burt Wagner, PhD. I don't
there's
think you are.
also there's also something about and this is just a stupid theory I have, but
Please.
so fresh water, like when he's gonna get baptized,
I'm getting baptized. Yeah.
pretty soon,
Mhm.
and I'm like, you
Wait,
should
wait,
do
wait,
it.
wait. What does that mean?
Don't worry about it.
Get
You
baptized.
should it's a good thing. Everyone
Okay.
should do it. It's
Oh.
yeah. So I'm like, do it in fresh water, like
Yeah. So I'm
running
getting
water.
baptized, and he thinks that I should get baptized in because I'm very similar to you. Like I wasn't raised religious. Been a conspiracy theorist for a long time. All conspiracies eventually led me to Jesus Christ, and now I'm like, I think I'm gonna start taking this thing seriously because I'm enveloped in spiritual warfare. I'm now doing this show, and it's like I'm standing.
I'm gonna do a water ritual.
I'm gonna go get wet, and he's
I got
like, well,
baptized
maybe
a
if you
couple
get.
months ago.
Did you really? Oh, that's dope. Oh man, crushing. This is so
Did you-
cool.
Now, what did
Maybe
you
you
think
should
about
replace
it?
me on the show.
Should I do it too?
I don't know.
I don't
It
know.
depends on what you want. I'm not here to tell you.
Well, he
whether you
thinks
should
I
or
should
you
get
not.
baptized in running water.
Well, here's the idea.
I got
like, all right,
baptized in a river.
What?
That's what I'm talking about.
They're gonna open up the wall at my church and do it in an old jacuzzi. I don't know.
yeah, there's like chlorine in there. This is what I'm saying.
think
This is
so.
why I like her and I don't like you because
fair.
she's got it. Like, yeah, running water.
I wanted
Yeah.
to do it in like as natural as possible. Like
That makes sense.
at church, they do typically do it in like a trough. Like they put people in there, and I was like, that's great.
Trough.
Like a water trough, right? People
It's
can
a
get
trough.
in there
It's a trough.
and they can, get baptized. I think that's fine. I just like I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to do it in a river, and so when it was time,
How did you find somebody to? You were like,
Oh.
yo.
my church did it.
Oh, okay.
She
Yeah, we
found the
just
guy
asked them.
wearing the sackcloth, and she was like, "You,
I'm gonna talk to
Come with
Pastor Rick
me.
and be like,
We're
can we
going
just
down
go
the
to
river.
we're gonna get
Just
baptized."
go to
Well,
the-
we're in Florida.
Yeah, go to
There's
the
so many
ocean or the
natural
Gulf of
springs.
America.
Ah,
Yeah.
dude.
Tell Pastor Rick, get your old ass in the water.
He's very
No,
old.
no, he's fine.
very
He's
old.
fine.
Shout out Pastor
No,
Rick.
so this is what I'm saying. If I just, and this is just a theoretical, if I had went to Dani's land and I was like, we're gonna just like plunder,
Right?
and then I don't want her to ever build on her acreage again, I would salt the land.
Okay.
Okay,
Where's this coming from?
the oceans.
Are you threatening her?
No, that's not a threat.
That was
Sounds like a
weird.
threat.
That was very threatening.
I felt threatened.
Well,
Salt your land.
He's
Where you
like,
No,
get
but
that much
like,
salt,
he doesn't
dude?
know
you
where I live.
salt-
It's fine. It's fine.
you salt it so nothing grows there again,
Okay.
right? And underground, under the water, the
Where the ant
oceans.
people live.
This is where like UFOs are going. And I'm kind of like, was salt water a normal thing before the flood? Or is this water, has it been salted to like kill and like keep down the
Something.
whatever? Something. Yeah. Like
Because we
like I
haven't
said,
discovered everything in the ocean.
no. And
But then-
there's,
Why do we call people like a good thing that you would say is like they're the salt of the earth?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
Like, you cause death and destruction.
Right. Like that's weird.
yeah, I don't know.
That guy, he's the salt of the earth. Like you would say that about somebody like as a nice. I've got some more
It's
questions about
interesting.
this.
Well, we do because speech is a weird thing. Sometimes we, you'd be like, oh, that's sick. Like our speech is
Right.
inverted in a weird kind of way. So I wonder if
but
that's
is it
another one of
inverted
those things.
inverted on purpose?
Well, because I think that spell casting is very real. You're gonna get the Mockingbird media,
Yeah, like
and they're
that's
repeating
dope.
the same phrase
you know?
over and over and over again, and you're creating a perception and thereby changing people's idea of reality. That's spell casting in its most fundamental form. So if you're speaking something over and over again, like, oh,
Well,
sick
just
as
like
hell,
the
bruh.
phrase like mother like daughter, right? You would
Mm.
think like that can be used in a really good way. It can also be used bad. But when you're reading it in the Bible, it's used in like the worst kind of way.
Oh damn.
Like the mother sinned and she was like a prostitute and she was like this awful person, and then it's like mother like daughter, like the daughter's going to be like this awful
Oh.
person, like a witch. Like so we use it in like good ways and in bad ways. I have some questions about our speech as well. Yeah.
Where are you at on witchcraft? Because that's been something that has been sort of
Plaguing. No.
plaguing.
I've been listening to some podcasts lately about witchcraft, and honestly, like it makes sense. I think that Satan and demons and witchcraft, I think it's running the world, which is why you have to actively seek out God. Like if God he's easy to find, but he's not, right? Like you actively have to like search and like continue to like worship him, whereas like Satan, it's easy. So like
Yeah.
witchcraft being involved in everything makes so much sense because it's easy. Like you're gonna believe, and I'm sure you guys listen to this on Sam Tripoli, that like the buzzer at the very end of like the fourth quarter or whatever, you got this ball going in and it like bounces and drops in. You're like, that was like only one time in the whole game did it do that, and it was like caused all this like anticipation and suspense. Well,
Yeah.
now we're all believing that. So, and we watched it happen. We're believing the witchcraft, so we're believing the Satanism.
I see. It's like
Participating in it almost.
yeah,
Exactly.
and I see
It's
the
energy
symbols
harvesting.
everywhere. I was actually saying this on a
Yeah.
previous
Oh,
show
yeah.
that we did, where it's like there's a old GMC Jimmy like around the corner from my house, and it's done up in like the triple moon symbol, which is like the maiden, the mother, and the crone, and it's got all these other like decals all over it. They're just terrible pagan crap. And then I see it moving around one day, and I see the lady that's driving it. She just looks rough, dude. She looks a mess. Like she looks like like she didn't get the memo. It's like, yeah, when you do this, you're supposed to suck the life force from other people to stay youthful forever. Like she didn't know that. She was just like, yeah.
But there's a point of diminishing returns to this as well.
Yeah, that's true too. I don't know, and also you probably like some are better.
I think it's like drugs. I think it's exactly like drugs. Like meth is probably great, and then after a while, like your skin just starts peeling off
I'm
your
almost
face.
certain meth slaps. Are you kidding me? Like I almost like if you were like,
we should ask Matt.
$100, like is meth
I don't
like a
think it
good time
does.
or not? I'd be like, yeah, it's probably a really good time.
I mean, actually, if it wasn't a good time, they wouldn't keep doing it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it looks like something you'd want to like. You're like,
Like, at
yo,
first you like
should do
it, and
this
then
too.
you don't like it after a while.
Yeah, when it starts deteriorating your flesh. But I see it everywhere now, and I see it especially, just going back to that kind of children's entertainment, Disney in particular. It is so popularized, and the symbols are everywhere. They're like right in front of your face. This whole like crescent moon, kind of 8-pointed star of Ishtar, like that whole thing. That's why we give the Catholics a really hard time on this show. And one of the things that we give them a hard time about is this idea of like sort of deifying Mother Mary. And I think that it's not like Mother Mary I have a problem with at all. It's the fact that there's like this divine feminine goddess symbolism that's been hijacked. They'll hijack Mother Mary just like any of the saints that get hijacked for like Santeria or something like that. They'll do the same thing, but what they're hiding in there is like Ishtar, which is like this incredibly ancient deity that is overruling witchcraft in its modern day form. I think it's an interchangeable character with like Hecate or whatever that bitch's name is. And so like a lot of people get messed up like, oh, you're disrespecting. I'm like, I'm not disrespecting Mary. I'm saying this is a Trojan horse that, and I'm sure Mary's not pumped about it either, that they're using to like slip in this idea of like the divine feminine is probably real. Like there has to be a feminine aspect if there's a masculine aspect. Like I do think that that's real, but like what we're getting right now masquerading as the divine feminine is like Ishtar, Hecate, witchcraft, like this really horrifying version of it. And it's like, it's super prevalent right now. And there was somebody that I was, the Babylon being the entity that they're trying to summon into this reality, right? Jack Parsons, all that crap. That's who they're trying to pull into this reality. And that Babylon workings ritual is supposed to usher in the divine feminine. And then if you look at like what we've been in for the last like couple of generations, feminism, and then it's hijacking and what it's done, and then like its current form, which is where you get like overt witchcraft. I'm like, maybe that shit worked, dog.
Well, and you have to look at, I did a 3-part series on the Vatican, like the Catholic faith when the Pope died, because like what else are you going to do when the Pope dies?
Right.
And so I think that everything about the Vatican, I think that Catholics, like in their most basic form, they have probably the best at heart. I'm sure they really do want to try. But I think as the faith, like the religion, I think it's so corrupt. It's so like if you just look at what they have in the Vatican, they have different like what's the word I'm looking for? Like entities for like other religions, like symbols and like statues.
Well, in Catholicism, they absorbed a lot of different pagan religions, and they
but why would you
have
keep
hidden
those things?
because they hide their gods and their deities behind the saints. There's like a huge plethora of saints and idols that are within the Catholic Church that can easily be interchanged and hidden. Yeah, like so you'll see with Santeria a lot, like Mexican Catholicism. It's like right down that line where this can also what's the name of the Ellie Danter on the tattoo on like P. Diddy's back? That's like,
oh yeah, she's it's a voodoo saint,
but that's interchangeable with Mary.
Yeah, so she
kind of
bears resemblance.
Yeah, so that's, if you read the Bible, like how many times does it say like don't worship false idols?
Yeah,
don't do idols at all, because it's so easy to slip that in.
So easy to switch it. And the Catholic Church, the Vatican, they have all these idols from all these different places. And I get it if you want to keep them as like historical facts because other places, other like tribes, whatever, they had different religions and you brought them to Catholicism. I get that. If that's like how they're trying to masquerade this whole thing. But put them into a museum. Don't put them in your place of worship. Don't put them in the place where you are worshiping God. When he says over and over in his word, don't worship false idols.
Yeah, there was a moment 2019 where outside of Vatican City in front of the Colosseum in Rome, they erected this statue of Moloch. And it was supposed to be like, so there was a film, I believe, I'm trying to find it now, a silent film called Cabiria. I'm sure but it depicts scenes of ancient Carthage. And so that, if you watch that film, you'll see this statue of Moloch, but they erected it out front of the Colosseum. They left it there for a year. It's just this golden statue of Moloch, like right outside of Vatican City.
They're actively worshiping the devil. Actively.
They keep building it. I mean, this is like, there's at least, I think, 3 times in the Bible that it's like this golden cow.
Golden cow. Yeah. It just gets more menacing each time. Like it starts off as a golden cow and then it turns into just straight up Moloch.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I see what we're doing here. Yeah.
I just finished reading through the Old Testament. Like I'm reading through the Bible for the first time ever. So I just finished reading the Old Testament. So I'm like, I'm trying to put all of these together. I'm gonna need to read it again because
hey, listen, go to blueletterbible.org. We just had a representative from Blue Letter Bible on the show. It's a great, I'm just like, plug, we're not getting paid for this.
No, we're not getting paid. But shout out Blue Letter Bible if you want to pay us.
Yeah. No, it's like you can look up any scripture, cross-reference words from Greek to Hebrew, and it's like all right at your fingertips. Yeah. It's probably the best.
It's really
website.
It's really useful. Yeah.
Especially when you're looking up like in the Old Testament, there are words that are interchangeable or words that are used throughout the Old Testament. You can kind of see maybe what the author meant as opposed to the translation in English.
Right. And by the way, they have classes that I'm like, maybe I should take the classes. So they do like, you'd have to go to like seminary school for these classes. They're just giving them away for free. It's just courses online. You can just watch the videos and take them. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Maybe I should.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot. There's so much to learn. Like I'm gonna have to read this thing so many times.
Yeah. I'm jumping around too. Like I just read Ecclesiastes, and I'm like, I don't know if I should just start Ecclesiastes.
No, that's probably that's a weird one.
I did Genesis. I did Exodus, and then I was like, I'm gonna jump around. We did Revelation, and then now we're doing Book of Daniel. And I did Ecclesiastes, which was actually hilarious. I think it's the most hilarious book in the Bible, where the guy's just like, what sense is there in being a wise man when a fool ends up in the same place? You have all these pursuits as a wise man, searching for wisdom and intellect, and then you both die. This is meaningless. And he says it like over and over again. He's like, what good is it to do this when this asshole over here does nothing and then he dies? This is meaningless. And I'm like, this is kind of the most hilarious book in the Bible. He ties it together eventually.
I have this plan, and it's like in chronological order. And so I think we started with Genesis, and then we like jumped to Job, and I was like, what the heck? And then we like jumped back. I was like,
because
at first I didn't understand that it was chronological, and I was like, I don't know what's happening here. But something's like, why did we randomly jump to Job? Because it's like the oldest story in the book, or like
that's interesting. Maybe I should be doing it chronologically.
It makes more sense to me. My brain definitely needed it like that. I'm glad I did it like this.
That's probably a good idea. Maybe
because now, like, we just started the New Testament at the beginning of October, and like we started with like a couple stories about like Jesus being born, and now we're in John, but we are like jumping to Matthew and Mark, and they all kind of tell like the same story. Because like Kings and Chronicles in the Old Testament, they're telling the same story. So like there will be a day that I like read this Kings and this Chronicles, and it's the same story. I'm just reading it like it's slightly different between the two. So I read the same thing twice that day, but I got the whole story. So that's what we're doing with like the New Testament, because like you'll hear the same story in several different books. So I'm reading the same story like 3 or 4 times the same day, because it'll be like this chapter in Matthew, this chapter in Mark, this chapter in John. So those are my 3 readings for the day, but it's the same story over and over.
I might go back and do Job instead, because I was going to jump to Isaiah after this for like no reason. I was just like, that sounds like a cool book.
Did you start with Isaiah. John?
No, I started with Genesis, which was almost upsetting, because it's like this person begot this person begot this person begot this person. And that's like really jarring, because you don't remember the names.
Yeah.
They're all like names that are just not, unbelievable.
And they're hard
names
to pronounce.
Yeah. And then you go to Exodus, and Exodus is a story. And I've watched, like Joseph or whatever it is, it's like a Disney film or whatever. So I had like some of that, like I
Prince
had
of
Moses in my
Egypt.
head. Yeah, Prince of Egypt. I had like some of this in my head, so I at least could visualize it as I'm reading it.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, we did Revelation, which, that's kind of like you get that through conspiracy. You got like kind of a crash course in that all the time.
Yeah.
Then Book of Daniel that we're in the middle of. And then I'm like, Ecclesiastes, because it's like a short, repetitive book. It's very short. Ecclesiastes is not long at all, which is why I can read it. But I might go back and read Job, so that chronological order seems like a reasonable thing to do. When I was younger,
Mhm.
I was not really dismissive of the Bible, but I was like, I just wasn't looking at it. Like I wouldn't outright dismiss it, but I wouldn't give it the time of day. And I think that's because on some level I had absorbed this cultural idea of what the Bible is and what the stories in it are. And then and it's only like when you start actually looking at it without, I don't know, maybe like without a church or without some sort of a guidance or preconceived idea of like, what this thing says. And then I came at it with this backing of conspiracy. Do you realize like, wow, this really applies. This applies in a huge way. In fact, it's almost so much so that like I worry less and less about translations in a big way, because I'm reading it and I'm like, checks out, tracks. If there's moral messaging to be found in it, wisdom to be found in it, I'm like, whatever version I'm reading, I understand what it's saying, like the wisdom of it. I understand how it applies. And then like the prophetic way and how, it applies, sometimes you look around you like, yeah, it looks like it's unfolding. It also still applies. So like, I'm not really super worried about translations as much, although Blue Letter Bible helps. Is that like where you're at?
My preconceived notion was not necessarily what I thought was like the Bible and religion and faith. It was religion itself, not necessarily faith and believing in God. It was my preconceived notion. The reason I was so against it for so many years, I didn't like the idea of religion. I didn't like the idea of and going to a church and having somebody tell you what God has said. And I didn't realize, like, I didn't know a lot. I was very, very ignorant when it came to the Bible. So like for like my earlier conspiracies, you'll hear me like bring up like, well, in the Bible it says this. I didn't really understand what that meant, but I would say it because like that was part of the conspiracy and that's what I found about this conspiracy and it's written in the Bible, so I'll include that in the episode, but like I didn't really believe it. But now reading it without like not through the lens of like a religious organization or a church, just reading it through the lens of like this is another history book, that has changed things a little bit for me. Because now I'm like, wait a second, like this does kind of explain it all. Like,
yeah,
if you really look at it, it explains everything we've asked the questions about. We just didn't know it was here.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. And it's kind of amazing because I remember thinking to myself, like, if it was true, then kind of everybody would know it. It's not like there's any access that's, like that you're cut off from it. Everybody can do it. And in fact, when I was younger, I went into a church and I asked them for a Bible and the guy just happily gave me a Bible.
Yeah.
I came in off the streets and just asked for one. He gave me one. It was no big deal. Very accessible.
Mhm.
Culturally speaking, everybody's very aware of it. It's not like it's hidden at all. It's almost like they pulled off this unbelievable trick of creating a narrative around it that was so effective alone would keep people from looking at it in any real meaningful way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that if they make it silly, if they make it like not what it is, then nobody, like, you're not that interested in it. Or I think they've made it so, I don't know, like even the word to use, but they've made it to where
Almost
like,
gay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
word.
Like, and then the people that do believe, you're like, that's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's hard, man. Like I look
Yeah.
at that too. Like to this day, it's like even I'll make a joke. Like if I'm in church, they'll be like, you turn to people. You're like, turn to somebody and say something. And I'm like, nah. I don't want to turn to anybody and say anything. They'll be like, turn to your neighbor and say like, I love you. And I'm like,
And that's
Simply
what
won't.
I didn't like that about church. I like my church. I did not, I was really nervous about going to a church. like very nervous. I was like, I'm not going to church. I'll read the Bible, fine, but I'm not going to church. I do like my church. I have found a good one, but like, I was willing. I walked in there and I was like, I'm not going to like it, and I don't even want to be here, and I'm going to come just this one time, and that's it. I'm just trying it out because I have to. I didn't have to, but I wanted to.
Well, that was my thing. Is like if I'm gonna critique it at all, I have to go. I can't just be somebody that's like, oh, this and that about the church. Like, what am I talking about? I never even stepped foot in there in any real way. Yeah, but like, I don't know. How do you feel like when they go? Does your church do like turn to your neighbor and hug them?
We have to like turn and say hi. Not
say hi, because sometimes they're like turn to your neighbor and they say tell them you love them. Oh, and I turn to my neighbor and I go, I don't know you.
Yeah,
even when they say turn around and say hi to somebody, and I'm like, if I don't know you, like hi. I will potentially, if somebody approaches me, I will say hi back. How about that?
Yeah. If you approach me,
or if I know them, I'm like, oh hey, like how are you? That's it. Like
that's even worse. I think. Like, so I'm standing next to him.
It's like a cop out.
Yeah, I gotta say hi to this guy. Like, no, I don't like it.
Well, it's easy to say hi to you. I think the point is to reach out to somebody you don't know or whatever.
You're
but
supposed
like
to say something to somebody you don't know. Make
everybody feel welcome. Mood
welcome.
I'm in, I'll go like, they'll be like, turn to somebody and say hi or say I love you, and I'll go.
Simply won't.
And I'll go, no. Simply not going to do that. Absolutely not. Look, we don't have a lot of time, but I do want to ask you a couple of questions on like, what do you have? Because you're saying you're doing like a deep dive every week. What's the next thing that you're getting into?
So Atlantis came out a couple weeks ago. Then I did the Cecil Hotel. DB Cooper comes out next week. So, okay.
Oh, that's fun.
I did like 7 episodes on Epstein. So I was like, we're going to take a break for a minute. Let's just like chill. Let's do some conspiracies that are like
let's do
fun.
Them light and easy. Let's do
Atlantis. I did it. I was like, woo.
What's the Cecil Hotel? What is this?
The Cecil Hotel. It's a hotel in Los Angeles where like a stupid number of people have committed suicide.
Oh,
like
I've heard about this.
Very like demonic. Like people feel like there's something there.
That's not the one where they found the lady inside the water tower on the roof.
That is the one. Yep.
Oh, that's a weird situation. Yeah, that's a really weird.
Really weird. Really
weird. That's the same one where they catch her on video. She's running from somebody who's not there.
She's like in and out of the elevator. And like the theory for that is that she was playing the elevator game, which I guess is like this Korean game where you have to press the elevator buttons in like a certain, like you need to be in a hotel that has an elevator and that has at least 10 floors, and you have to press the buttons and like go to the floors in a certain order. And I say the order in the episode, I don't remember what it is. And by the time you get to, like, they say on one of the floors, a girl might come onto the elevator. Don't talk to her. If she comes on the elevator, don't talk to her. By the time you get to the 10th floor, like, because you press them and like, it's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 5, 2, 4, 6, 10, 2 or something like that. Once you get to the 10th floor and you get off, you're in a different dimension. And then you can get back on the elevator and you just go back to whatever. Yeah, you open a portal and you get back on the elevator. You go back to whatever floor and you've come back to reality. Well, she's like hiding in the elevator. Like they're showing this video of her and she's like hiding in like a corner.
Yeah, she's
like
hiding
standing
like on
there.
the side.
Yeah, and so some people think, because like the elevator opens and it closes, some people think the girl got on the elevator then. And at some point she gets off the elevator, but then the door stays open for minutes, like up to 5 minutes after she gets off. Like something's holding the door open. And then they find her in the tower, the water tower on top of the roof. And the water tower lid, firstly, you have to open it with both hands, and then you would have to climb over it to get into the water tank and then somehow close it, but you can't close it from the inside.
Because you're just like dangling if you do.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. And so you can't close it from the inside, but the water tower was closed. The water tank was closed when they found her. She was found completely naked, and they think that she got in it herself. But if they searched it twice, they searched it, and they didn't find her clothes anywhere. But in all the videos, she was clothed. How would she have closed it? Because the police searched the roof even, because they're like, well, people commit suicide here all the time. Maybe she was on the roof. Well, they didn't find the water tank open. They didn't find her clothes. They didn't find anything about it. And then weeks later, the guests started complaining about like the water smelling weird and looking weird and like the water pressure being off. Everything was a little weird. So the maintenance guy was like, oh, I'll go check the water tank. Lo and behold, she's in the water tank the whole time.
They think it was
weird. They think it was an accidental drowning.
Interesting.
Not for nothing, but as soon as she started naming the numbers on the thing, half my head pile erected. That was strange as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. That's creepy.
Yeah.
I maybe watch that episode. People can find that on your Patreon.
Yeah, my Patreon or
Oh,
just
that's
like
on your
my
Spotify,
regular.
right?
Yeah, it's on both.
Oh, it's on your Spotify. All right,
Yeah,
good.
it dropped this week. It dropped yesterday. Well, by the time they listen to this
That's
drops
cool.
in a couple weeks, right? So it'll be a couple weeks old by the time
This drops in
everybody
like
hears
a
this.
week and a half or something.
Yeah.
Man, that is
Wild.
really weird. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that. That's something we got to look into. Well, listen, we got to wrap it up. I got to ask you
Yeah.
the final question of the show. It's something that we like asking everybody, and we always get a different answer. Not in this conversation, but just everything that you're doing, all your pursuits and the information you're delving into. Are you having fun?
Yeah, I love podcasting. I love it. Like I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. And I get a lot of shit. People are like, don't you get sick of conspiracy theories? No. Because every single time it's something different. And when I do, like, I get into like the crazy stuff sometimes, like the child stuff really, like I get crazy nightmares. I have very, very vivid nightmares a lot. And so when I get into the child stuff, like I'll go through a phase where I'm like, okay, we're done for a minute. Let's jump into Atlantis or DB Cooper, like these silly little conspiracies that like, yeah, people know about them. People listen still, but it's like a nice little brain break before we have to like dive into, I want to do Marina, what's her last name? The spirit cooking lady. Abramovic. Yeah. And I need to do the Clintons. I haven't touched them yet. I need to do, there's just so many things. Wayfair, like I have so many like really deep ones, like dark ones that I need to cover, but like I like to cover these fun ones sometimes just to chill out before I dive into like the crazy shit again.
I think
Really
Are you paying attention to your dreams? Are you
always.
Are you experiencing like sleep paralysis at all? Anything like that?
I've never experienced sleep paralysis. I do lucid dream. I do have. I'm to the point right now in my life, and I think maybe I should see a therapist or somebody about it. I sometimes can't remember if it's a memory or a dream.
Oh, that's interesting.
So like there are times when I'm like, did we talk about that? Did this really happen? Because like I don't know if it's a memory or a dream sometimes.
That's interesting. You know,
'Cause my
I've heard a lot of people call like
realistic.
deja vu.
I have deja vu a lot.
It's different. Yeah, but some people will say like deja vu is just a feel. Like for me, it's just a feeling that this has happened before. But then other people are like, no, I've dreamt about this, and I find that
So I've had
fascinating. 'Cause
both.
it's like two camps.
I've had both where like I've had a dream and like I've had a dream. I'm like, I need to remember that dream because that'll happen in real life. Like I'll wake up and be like, that's gonna happen. I just don't know when yet. And then I've had other deja vu where I like walk into like I walk it through a door and I'm like, ooh, that person's gonna come in. This guy's gonna say hi, and they're gonna spill a coffee over here, and we're back to reality. Let's go.
That's the one that I have where I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
this
so I'll
is
do
all
both.
it's happening right now again, and then but I don't know what it's from at all, and then it just like fades away.
It's like something
Yeah.
minuscule.
Yeah, it's always minuscule. It's always insignificant, but
it's
it's like really weird.
Like I'll have dreams, or I've had a dream in the past where I'm like, I don't know who that kid was in my dream, but something is gonna happen, and I need to pay attention to who that kid is. And then when it does happen, I'm like, oh, that was my son.
Oh, that's weird.
I just hadn't had him yet. He just wasn't alive.
I had that once. Yeah, I saw Jack before. Like I saw Jack when I was like 12, and I was exhausted by his presence. I was like, dude,
This guy is
he's
worse.
here to do the annoying thing. He's gonna do it. I was trying to have it. I was waking up from a nap, and I was like, here he comes to wake me up from a nap. And I watched him walk towards me and then just vanish. And when I saw him, I was like, I knew he was related to me. And I didn't think it was strange at all. I was like, here comes this kid that always ruins my naps, who's related to me. Right now, as a 35-year-old man, I happen to have a kid who is related to me, ruins my naps. And, it's really weird. And he looked just like him.
Yeah.
Really
Every
strange.
time and I know like the people, like I feel comfortable. I feel confident. Like I'm like, yeah, we're good. Whoever you are in my dream. But then we get there and I'm like, oh, you were my son the whole time.
Yeah. Very strange.
Very strange.
Well, look, we'd love to have you back. Hopefully we can set it up a little bit quicker. We played a little like tag this time, but anytime you're available, reach out to us and let us know. You have our calendar. Book whenever you want. Don't even tell us. Just surprise
I just
us.
like show up someday. I'm like, here I am.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Tell the audience one more time before you get out of here where they can find you.
The Rabbit Hole, Conspiracy Theories, basically wherever you get your podcasts on social media. I am at rabbit.hole podcast. You can go to my website, stayskeptical.com, or you can follow me on YouTube, Rumble, wherever you want to listen. My YouTubes and Rumbles are not that exciting. People like to watch them. I think they're boring, but you do you. If you want to watch it, you watch it.
You know what'll fix that for you? Just get an obnoxious wallpaper.
That's it. Yeah.
Get an obnoxious wallpaper.
I need something back here. I'm going to change it. I have plans, but I need to put my award. I have an award, so I'm going to put that up on
What's
the wall.
the award for?
I got the Women Podcasters Best Documentary Award for 2025.
Do they have a in podcasting? Because we got to win that.
What's
If
your-
there's no retards in podcasting.
She's like, no,
there's gotta be,
unfortunately.
please, somebody out there.
What was your documentary about?
Just my podcast. They consider it a documentary podcast.
That's
Oh.
dope.
That's
Yeah,
like
that's
what they
cool.
consider it. So I submitted my
need some-
podcast and I won.
We need some awards. We don't have any awards.
No, we don't have any awards.
People
We're
mostly
not
just-
award winning.
They just
Well,
say
so
bad things to us.
it was voter audience voted. So whoever had the most votes wins. And so I just asked my audience to vote for me. And I went on the Daily Conspiracy podcast. They voted for me.
Vote for other people.
No, they could listen. Make yourself useful. The
Audience.
people, like yeah,
The
what?
people, come on, vote.
Vote
Vote.
for us. Find something. Vote for us. I don't know what's out there. Retard of the year. That's us.
That's a little demeaning.
Somebody else. That's a stiff.
That's stiff
Competition.
competition.
All right.
Yeah.
Pleasure talking to you, Dani. I hope we do it again.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for
Thanks for having
putting
me
up
so
with our
much.
stuff. Guys, until next time, it's been another great day of podcasting. Don't forget to obey, submit, and comply. We'll see.
The greatest hypnotist on planet Earth is a oblong box in the corner of the room. It is constantly telling us what to believe is real.
You can persuade them that what they see with their eyes is what there is to see. You can't. Because they'll laugh in the face of an experience